So I asked these four to prepare something, and they don't have anything in writing. Good? No, good. I didn't want it to be formal. To tell you about why their business is good. And I'm just going to ask them a quick question, and then they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves. So, Pam, 20 to 22 deals closed this year? Something like that. Phenomenal, yes? REO business primarily. So, wonderful, Fremont-based. We've been coaching off and on for a long time, but in her very first year, she made 120,000, which was phenomenal. 10 years ago? 8? 10 years ago. Diane, and you just confirm because I might say something wrong, so we haven't seen each other for a little while. Diane is number 3 in all of our PM at the moment, which is phenomenal. It's over 360 to 400 agents. Wow. We met about 7 years ago, 7 years ago. She was doing about 100 loans a year. Now she does close to 200 loans a year. That's really high. That's probably in the top 1% of all mortgage brokers, or maybe the top 0.1%. So huge, huge production. She's going to talk about marketing because that's what I want you to talk about, okay? Hint, hint. Okay. She's phenomenal at it. Jen had a bang-up first part of the year, has been a top producer almost since day one. In your second year, third year, which one it was? You did the 22 or 24 deals, and then you went to 30, and you had, what year was it? Do you know? 3 or 4. Okay, so has been into the 30s number of units by herself with an assistant, so gigantic. Earlier this year, many of you, your average price was going down. Her average price stayed in the 7s. Did it go up again? 850. Wouldn't we all like to have 850 right now, right? It's been a struggle. And so phenomenal producer, and now part of CAR and her local board, and she's been part of WCR and all kinds of things. So really active in things. So I want you to ask her maybe about that. And Judith, my long-term coaching client and friend, has been in the business 24 years now with John, and you are going to have a bang-up year too. All regular price business, averaging what price? 800. And how many units do you think? 18. But you have some other stuff coming, right? Okay, so it may close. Okay, so everybody's got different kinds of business here, and that's why I chose them. So they're going to make their statement, and then if you have a little pad of paper from the Claremont in front of you. If you have a question, really like to know that would help the group, ask it in the group, and then later there's obviously a lunch break and 2 other breaks, and you could go up to them individually and ask them. There are many other top producers in the room, by the way, which I'm going to talk about you later. Thank you. And I may just point out things that I know about you and say, how did you do that? How did you do that? Because some of us are breaking through the barriers, and some of us are feeling stuck. And one of us in the room is going to share about how she felt very stuck up until about 4 to 5 months ago, and now she's flying, but it took a whole lot to get there. I mean, she's going to openly share with you what happened, which is really good to hear, because some of us get stuck and we stay there. Okay, so do you want to start?
In anticipation of being part of this panel, I was talking with John, who's my partner in business and in life, about why we have been so successful over our 24 years in the business. And the one umbrella I could put this all under would be service, because one of our commitments to our clients and to our colleagues is to give stellar service. By that I mean, often we talk about serving our clients. We don't talk so much about serving our colleagues. And I attribute a lot of our success. We've worked with several of you in this room, had transactions, and I think recognizing how important good relationships are with our colleagues is one of the most important things in this business, because your reputation with your colleagues is incredibly important. If you have a bad reputation and you're in multiple offers, and it's close, your client will not get it. So being cognizant, not only getting by service, and then I can get into the service with our clients, because there are 2 of us, we really do have an advantage, and I admire all of those of you who work as a single person, because we have that advantage of being able to get back to not only our clients really quickly, but get back to our colleagues, because I'm sure all of you in this room have had the experience of leaving a message, emailing a colleague, and having no response. And I think that doesn't serve any of us well. So that's one of my really points of advice for all of us, is to remember that we need to be cognizant of not just serving our clients, but serving our colleagues. So that's one, and by serving our colleagues, something that I think is absolutely essential. John and I have a very good referral base. You can imagine after 24 years, there are some people who have to get new clients every single year, and we've had colleagues over the years who we've heard talk about their clients as a paycheck only, as a means to an end. And those are the kinds of agents who don't have a good referral base, who hardly ever have a referral, and they just are constantly trying to drum up business. John and I have the honor, I would say, of having clients trust us, know the work that we do, and refer us to their friends, family, and colleagues. So I think that that is extremely important. I also think that authenticity is important. People have asked Kitty, Kitty shared this with us, why are John and Judith so successful? And we actually really are nice people. We've also had those experiences, I'm sure you've all had them too, of when you work with an agent and when you're working with them, maybe they're nice, but when you see them at a tour, they're stuck up or they're rude. And once again, I think that authenticity, if you are who you are, your clients recognize that, they like you, they trust you, and they want to work with you. So I really think we've been so fortunate over the years of being able to, I don't think you can be anybody but who you are, but I think finding out what your attributes are, what you like to do also, because we have the advantage as a couple working together, we don't have the same skills. And I like talking on the phone a lot, and I also like emailing and those kinds of things. That's not John's personality, and he likes some other things. And it's really nice to find out what your strengths are and then focus on those strengths and let people know what they are. So I think that.
Thank you. Good. Jen, same question. Why are you successful this year?
I would say part of you're probably going to hear very similar stories up here as far as being personable, being real, and cultivating the relationships that you have currently and fostering those moving forward so that they return to you. And I think I've been very fortunate over the last 12 years that my business is probably 90% repeat, 100% repeat, I'm sorry. And then I would say the referral part, as far as me going out and finding new business, I would say is about 10%, if I said that right this time. I feel very fortunate that maybe it's just, part of us in this business, we're all a little bit controlling as far as wanting to make sure that our hands are in the pot the whole time we're moving through the transaction. And recently I worked with a first-time buyer who was in his 40s, their family, very successful people, never owned a home and had a whole lot of money saved up to buy a home, and were very nervous. And he's a lawyer and she's a doctor, and I felt that was a very challenging situation because he was very nervous, very, very nervous and all of that. And at the end of the transaction, I called him up for something and he said, "You're done. Why are you don't have to call us anymore. You're done. I just can't believe you're still, following up and making sure everything's okay." And that's just who I am. I sort of bring them into my family. And especially when they're coming from out of the area, making sure they feel comfortable in the community. So I always say that I'm a bit of a hand holder. As far as this year, it really was the previous 2 years of just nurturing the my pipeline and the people that really wanted to buy, but were in that kind of paralyzed state of not knowing where the market was going and if they should buy. So I think this year it was that catalyst of everybody felt, okay, now I think we can make that commitment. And because of how my business is, it's allowed me to reach out into other areas of volunteering within our industry and explore and grow as a professional and as a person and kind of better myself going through.
With mom, no hand.